People don't buy our products, they buy your belief in the products. People don't buy our business, they buy your belief in the business. People don't buy their ability to win, they buy your belief in them that they can win. You gotta look people in the eyes and let them know how much you believe in them. Because every day they're waking up thinking, should I believe in myself? And you gotta shake them and override that. There are 3 things that I want you to have just drilled into your mind when it comes to leadership. I want you to write this down. All great things come from great leadership. Anything great in this world was built by a great leader. Anything winning in this world, there is a leader at work. Every growing church, our growing military, a growing business, a growing community, I don't care what it is, a phenomenal school, it all comes down to leadership. And we got to go back better leaders. And not just better leaders in business, better leaders in life. And so I want to talk about 3 points of leadership with you guys tonight. You guys good with that? Number 1 is you got to lead yourself. To lead yourself, you got to take 100% responsibility for your life. You got to stop pointing the finger at him or her. It's nobody's fault. You got to take responsibility for every single area of your life. Your current reality is the sum total of your past decisions. You got to take responsibility. The moment you take extreme ownership for your life, the moment you take extreme responsibility for your life is the moment your life begins to change. See, guys, I remember playing on a soccer field when I was young and immature. And every single time something went wrong, I blamed the ref. I blamed my teammate. And that was me immature in business. And I had a coach grab me by the face one time. He said, you got to stop pointing the finger at everything else. And you got to play every hand you've been dealt like it's the hand you've always wanted. You can either complain about the ocean or you can become a better captain. You got to step up and say, I'm going to be a better captain. It is your responsibility to lead yourself. Nobody else's. Your trainer's not the reason you're not winning. Your EMD's not the reason you're not winning. Guys, I had an EMD that stole all my people off my team, and every day I had to wake up and I had to fight to keep my people away from my leadership because every time I promoted an EMD, I got punked at 21 years old into them taking him off my team. I promoted the first 3 EMDs for my upline's MVP promotion in order to date my now wife. Do you have to worry about your upline stealing your people? Do you have to worry about losing 48 licensed agents and 100 agents showing up to meetings in one day? Do you have to worry about losing multiple ring earners and EMDs? You don't have to worry about any of those things. People say, Matt, why do you lead the way that you do? Because I understand what was happening to me and I'm never gonna put my freaking people through it. So I didn't complain about my leadership. I said, now I know what not to do so I can be better for my people. I should have quit. I should have given up. And I almost did. Guys, I remember being in that moment and I lost everything overnight to people that I put all my faith and all my trust into. And I had to start all over. And I literally cried myself to sleep for 30 days in a row. And I was like, dude, should I even do this anymore? I want to quit. I want to give up. I would walk into my office and the leadership of that office was talking crap about me and slandering my name and saying I'm a bad person, that I'm a horrible person just because I met a woman in the business that I fell in love with. And I was an EMD and she was an associate. I knew her since I was 16 years old. And right when I saw, I was like, I'm going to marry that woman. I knew right away. And I lost my team in order to date her. I'm crying myself to sleep every night. And I remember going to dinner or going to breakfast with a guy named Chad Greer. And I'm talking to Chad. I said, Chad, I don't even want to do this anymore, man. Like I went from 100 agents to 3. I don't even want to do this anymore, man. And Chad looked at me and goes, what's going on? I said, I went from 100 agents and now I got 3. I don't even want to show up to my own meetings. I don't even want to show up to my own base shop. I don't want to be there anymore, man. And he looked at me and said, Matt, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He said, if I show up to church on Sunday, there's only 3 people in the pews, am I not going to give God's word because the audience isn't big enough? And I just remember being humbled. He said, you got to show up for the 3 as if it's 3,000 and one day it will be. And now I look at this group of people and we're greater than 3,000. You with me? But in that moment, I had to take 100% responsibility because I was blaming leadership. I was blaming the environment. I was blaming culture. I was blaming the office. I was blaming, and he said, hey, Matt, at the end of the day, it could all be true, but it doesn't make anything better. You got to take 100% responsibility and go rebuild this thing. What are you going to do? You got to have a 0-0 mentality. See, a lot of us get too high on the highs, we get too low on the lows, and we got to realize that if we got to win, and if we're going to win, reality is right there in the middle. I remember a coach, he pulled me aside, and our team, we scored, and we were celebrating, and we were fired up, and we were excited, and he pulled me aside, and he said, hey, yell 0-0. I said, what do you mean? We're up 1-0. He said, yell freaking 0-0. I said, why? He said, because when teams play like they're up, that's when they get beat. He said, every time you put the ball in the back of the net, I want you to grab the ball out of the back of the net. I don't want to see you celebrate ever freaking again. Grab the ball, put it on the center dot yourself, yell 0-0, and let's realign the team, and let's go back after the victory. And then guess what? We got scored on. And he said, I want you to grab the ball, I want you to put it in the center line, and I want you to yell 0-0. I said, what do you mean? We just got scored on. He said, I get it. But when people play like they're behind, they start making stupid decisions when they're behind. They start playing out of emotion. They start making passes they shouldn't be making. And now all of a sudden, they're making passes they shouldn't be making. They're making decisions they shouldn't be making, and it leads to losing. Whether you score or you get scored on, it's 0-0. You're going to get scored on in this business, 0-0. You're going to help more families in 1 month than ever before, 0-0. You got to operate with a 0-0 mentality. That is part of you leading you, is not allowing yourself to get, all of a sudden you have your best recruiting month ever, and it's the 10th of the month, and you slow down on recruiting. You have your best production month ever. It's the 20th of the month, and you slow down on your production. You want to know why? Because you're not playing like 0-0. Do you know the best way to lose momentum? Stop doing the things that created it. You got to lead yourself. 0-0. You want to lead yourself? You got to learn to channel your dark side. How many of us have a chip on our shoulder? I want to be very clear with you. I remember, Torrin said it earlier, but I remember every comment. I remember every situation. I remember my leadership taking my team. I remember all of it. And I bundle that shit up every day and I go to freaking war. I go to freaking war. You know, Michael Jordan used to go into the locker room and just walk in and look at the team and smile. And they would get intimidated just by seeing him. And they would get into the court and they would step onto the court. And Michael Jordan would be like, what did you say about my mom? He's like, I didn't say anything about it. He used to create his own adversary on the court because he was trying to get pissed off, because the worst thing that you could possibly do is make Michael mad. And he was doing everything that he possibly could. You look at Kobe Bryant with the USA, final quarter of the game. He looks over, he says, good game. He's like, good game, there's an entire quarter left. He said, good game, great playing with you. Freaking done. It's that killer instinct. You got to channel the dark side to get yourself to do the things you don't feel like freaking doing. I wish I could tell you, like, what got me going is all the sunshine and rainbows, and I just wanted to prove my leadership right. Guys, that had nothing to do with proving my leadership right. It was about proving every person wrong that didn't believe in me. It was about proving my English teacher wrong when he said I wouldn't become nothing. It was about proving all these all these fools wrong. I wish I could say it was about proving everybody right. It's never been about that. It's about proving people wrong. And I've channeled that to get myself to do the things I never felt like doing. You got to channel the dark side in order to lead yourself. I want you to say, lead yourself. Number 2, you got to lead your people. You got to lead your people. And I'm going to say something that probably doesn't make any sense until I explain it. But you got to lead from a place of insecurity. You got to lead from a place of insecurity. Matt, what do you mean by that? Meaning you got to wake up every day and lead your people as if they're not going to be here tomorrow. The reason I'm still in the trenches, the reason I'm still in the game, because every day I wake up and all I think about is your families. And what most people think is that because I have a title, because I have an income, everybody just pays me, everybody should just give me respect. I want to be very clear with you. It is not your team's job to earn your respect. It is your job to earn your team's respect every day. To lead your people, you got to show up every day and say, I'm going to earn the respect of my people. Day in and day out, I'm gonna earn the respect of my people. Used to be's don't make no more honey. Yesterday's home runs don't win today's games. I don't care what title you have. I don't care what income you've made. Every day when you wake up, you got to go to work to earn your people's respect. Next thing, your belief in people needs to override the doubt they have in themselves. Your belief in people needs to override the doubt they have in themselves. Guys, unfortunately, every person you bring in has these levels of doubt. And you need to believe in them so much that that belief overrides whatever it is that they're feeling. See, people buy your belief in them. Like, people don't buy our products, they buy your belief in the products. People don't buy our business, they buy your belief in the business. People don't buy their ability to win, they buy your belief in them that they can win. So you got to pour so much belief into your people, so much conviction, so much certainty. You got to look people in the eyes and say, dude, I freaking believe in you, man. Tristan, I freaking believe in you, dude. You have what it freaking takes. That's why you're here. I freaking believe in you. Biggest heart in the entire world. I freaking believe in you, man. You got to look people in the eyes and let them know how much you believe in them. Because every day they're waking up thinking, should I believe in myself? And you got to shake them and override that. You want to be better at leadership, leading your people? Love hard. Guys, you got to allow your people close enough to hurt you. The only way to truly lead people is to allow them close enough to hurt you. And I know that's the complete opposite of what every leadership or management book says out there. They'll say, keep your distance so you can keep your authority. The only way you lose your authority is if you lose your integrity. If you have results and you're a good person, you'll never lose your authority unless you lose your integrity. That's the only reason they need to separate, because they know that most people in leadership are two different people. They're one person in business and they're another person outside of it. And so they say, keep your distance so that way your team never figures you out. One thing that I know is that if you figure me out, you're going to love me even more. Because I am who I say I am in business and outside of business. There is no two difference. You can see me around this fire and you can see me in my home, and I'm not going to be any different. And I'm not talking from a place of arrogance. I'm talking from a place of alignment and congruency. I pride myself on being a man of my word in every area of my life. You got to allow people close enough to hurt you if you're really going to lead them. And sometimes that's painful. But I would rather love and get hurt than not love at all. I've been hurt by a lot of people in this business. You know, me and Eli were talking earlier. We were just sitting up and he goes, dude, what happened to this guy? I said, that guy broke my freaking heart, man. Because when I say I'm all in a relationship, I mean it. When I say I'm loyal, I mean it. When I say I have your back, you never need to turn around and look. And not everybody's cut from the same cloth. But that's the cloth I've been cut from. When I give you my word, I mean it. When I give you my commitment, I mean it. When I say I have your back, that's not just something I say because I'm trying to get an override. I say it because I don't give a shit about the override. I care about a relationship. I care about brotherhood. And guys, I want to be very clear with you. I struggled a ton with that. I have my own insecurities on it. I have my own struggles when it came to letting people in. I remember when I was 12 years old, my dad had just been told he had 3 months to live. And we had this deck up on the next to my dad's office. And we go up to the deck. I remember exactly where my dad was sitting. I could tell you the chair he was sitting in, what the chair looked like, the angle he was at. I could see the light pole in the disc. I could tell you everything about it because it is one of the most clear images in my mind. And my dad brought me and my brothers up one by one to say goodbye. And I remember he brought my older brother Joshua up, said goodbye. He brought my older brother Noah up, said goodbye. And he brought me up, and I knew why I was being brought up, and I was just bawling my eyes out in tears even before I got there. And I remember I get up onto the deck, and I'm hyperventilating, just crying my eyes out. And I'd never seen my dad cry. And my dad is bawling his eyes out, telling me how much he loves me, telling me how much he believes in me, telling me to have my brother's backs, telling me to be there for my mom and show up for my mom. And I just remember the pain was so deep and so overwhelming that I never wanted to feel that pain ever again. And so I said, you know what? If I never allow anyone close to me, then they can't hurt me. And so I always kept this wall between me and every relationship that I had because I didn't want to allow people close. I didn't want to allow people in because I never wanted to feel that pain again. I never wanted to feel that pain ever again. And so I come into this business and I started doing the exact same thing. I start keeping distance between me and my people. I don't allow them in. I don't build relationships because I was afraid that they would leave me and I was afraid that they would hurt me. But I would rather have the love that I experienced from my dad because that love was far greater than the pain. And I had to realize that the love mattered more than the pain, and the pain comes because that's a part of life. But that doesn't mean I can't love and I can't love my people. And that's the day our business began to change, when I started loving our people. I freaking love you, bro. Some of you guys like, you don't know me, you don't know my name yet. I know who created you. I love you. Matt, how could you believe in us so much? Because I know who created you. And to doubt you is to doubt my creator. I freaking believe in you, man. That's why you're here. Someone believed in you. If you think about all the craziness that led to you being here, you're not supposed to be here. You look at your life, you look at all the times you missed death, you look at all the bad decisions you've made, you look at all the adversity that you've gone through to end up in a random place in the middle of Northern California where there's no service. You think you're here by accident? You don't think there's not divine intervention, you being here? You don't think your life has aim? You don't think your life has purpose? You don't think your life has direction? You don't think that you were called to do something bigger and better than yourself? You don't believe that? How the heck did you end up here, man? You think it's on accident? You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to freaking be here. Know that, accept that. I freaking believe in you. Someone believed in you, and that's why you're here. What are you going to do with it? Number 3, you got to lead your home. You got to lead yourself. You got to lead your people. And you got to lead your home. Can I tell you why you got to get rich? So you can actually be present with your kids. Can I tell you why you got to get rich? So you can actually be present with your wife. See, a lot of us are like, Matt, I am present, bro. When you're thinking about how you're going to pay the bills, and when you're thinking about how you're going to pay this and pay that, are you really with your children, or are you stressing out about things? See, can I tell you what money has given me? It's not houses, it's not cars, it's not Rolex, it's not any of those things. What money has given me is the energy back where when I'm with my kids, I'm not thinking about anything else but showing them love. It's very difficult to think about paying your bills and think about how do I raise my daughters better? How do I raise my son better? It is very difficult to think about how am I going to pay for this? And then you show up and you're sitting with your wife and all you're thinking about is the bill. And what you're not thinking about is how do I love my wife more? How do I make her feel celebrated? How do I make her feel appreciated? How do I let her know that she's the greatest woman on the planet Earth? How do I make her feel seen? You're not thinking about those things when you're thinking about your bills. You're not thinking about those things when you're thinking about your expenses. You not taking care of yourself financially is hurting the way that you show up for your family. A stressed version of you is not a good version of you. You got to get rich so you can get present. So that way you can put money in the rear view like what Paul talked about. See, a lot of us compete in business, but are you competing to be a great husband? Are you competing to be a great dad? We were talking about this on Irvin Perry and Jas's boat and Josh's boat. We were sitting around and they said, Matt, how do you balance it? How do you balance like you're showing up for your family, you're showing up in business? I said, because I don't freaking just compete in business. I compete in the freaking home. You want to go toe-to-toe with me? I'm going to be the best damn dad in the world. You want to go toe-to-toe with me? I'm going to be the best damn husband in the world. I compete in being a husband. I compete in being a dad. I compete in being a friend. I compete in being loyal. I compete in being a leader. I compete in business. I compete in every area of my life. It's not just business. And some of us compete in business and then we lose in the home. I want to be very clear with you. If I give you $1 million and your family falls apart, that's failure. That's not success. We got to start competing in the home. I'm going to compete to be the best dad on the planet. I'm going to start competing to be the best dad on the planet, the best husband on the planet. Start competing in the things that matter. And last but not least, with leading your home, if you do what you need to do as a man, watch how incredible your relationship becomes. You wanna know why me and my wife don't have anything to fight about? Because I take care of anything that would lead to a fight. That's it. I take care of anything that's gonna lead to a fight. My wife doesn't have to worry about cleaning. Why? Because I handle business as a man and I take care of that. She's not tired from cleaning. She's not tired from cooking. She's not tired from any of those things. If my wife's having a hard day and I show up with love and sincerity and I give her a hug and I support her and I'm there for her, guess what happens? There's nothing to fight about. If I do what I need to do as a man, there's nothing to fight about. If you think about everything that you and your wife fight about, if you just showed up as a man, you wouldn't be facing those problems, would you? Show up as a man. Be there for your spouse. Be there for your wife. Remove anything that can lead to a fight by you just doing what you need to do. You with me? No, seriously, are you with me? I want to make sure that when you go home, your wife was like, I don't know what happened there, but I'm sending you back. Like, I don't know what happened there, but I'm sending you back. Like, you never did the dishes before, and now you're doing the dishes. You used to be done with work and you were exhausted and you just let me do things. Not anymore. I'm showing up as a freaking man. I'm going to do my part. I see you tired. I could be tired for the both of us. I got it, babe. I'm showing up as a man. Let's be such good men when we go back, when everyone looks at you, they're like, I don't know what happened on that trip, but let's send you freaking back. You're a better leader. You're a better person. You're better in every area of your life. Can we make that commitment? No, seriously, can we make that commitment? There's going to be a fire that happens in 30 years. And I'm always thinking about who's going to be around it. Who's loyal enough to be there? Who's committed enough to be there? Who's mentally tough enough to be there? Always thinking about that bonfire in 30 years. And I build with people that I want to have around that bonfire. I want you around that bonfire with us in 30 years. When we're able to look back on our career, and we're able to look back on our life's work, and we're able to look back and see all the families that we helped, all the lives that we changed, all the boys we helped become men. I want you around that bonfire with us. It's not going to be easy, man, but it's going to be worth it. And if we lock arms and we come together, we can be around that bonfire together. But we can't do it alone. You're strong, but you can't do it alone. It takes a brotherhood. This world has too many weak men. We need to show people in this world what it means to lead. Too many divorces. We got to show people what it means to have a great marriage. Let's be a great example. Let's get it.